Welcome to another live stream. Please share, subscribe, hit that like button for me. And let's get on the way. We got the fall of White America Part 2. Now I want to get into it. Because you see the lands and sea and air, and earthquakes and fire, and tornadoes and volcanoes is all controlled by God. Now she can boast today. She says that she has enough bombs and destructive weapons to destroy all human beings on the face of the earth 3 times and still have some left. Of this she boasts. By Allah, God has said to me that he will destroy America and will bring her into her knees in humiliation. We see the destruction sent to ancient Babylon is recorded in the Bible. It's the answer to most of what he has said to me will come upon the now rich America. You see rain, hail, snow, earthquakes, fire. These weapons all belong to God. Now America. How do you fight an army like this? We see the 4 mentioned weapons of Allah God cannot be ignored today. You see, brothers and sisters, the whole year, it had been a year therefore of Allah God. Pleasure America, we see. Day and night. With storms, rain, flood, killing and destroying properties today. And now the coming winter, you see, hail have been falling. In some places, you see, the size of golf balls and baseballs and footballs. The rain continued to fall in places, and a dreadful snow blizzard is now in the working. A cold wind is blowing in the north to come against America, as it is written, prophesied, you see, in Joel 38, 22, and 23. Have you entered into the treasures of the snow? Or have you seen the treasure of the hail which I have reserved it against the time of trouble, against the days of battle and war? See, earthquakes are now again to be recognized today, touching America lightly. But nevertheless, they are here. With all of her wealth and preaching of this Christianity religion, you see, today she had not been a good Christian herself. And Jeremiah said, arise now, get you into this wealthy nation that dwelt without care, said the Lord, which has neither gates nor bars, which dwelt alone. This corresponds to America. She lives situated between the 2 greatest bodies of the water of earth. See, the Atlantic and the Pacific. And she is very careless. She rejoices in her evil and filth, as though she is self-protected from the divine hands of God. See, Jeremiah 50:31 prophesies that, behold, I'm against you, most proud, said the Lord God of hosts. For your days is come, the time thou visit you. We see God is visiting America with great destruction, which he has to pour upon this wicked America. After the mistreatment of the so-called Negro for 400 years, he desires now to deceive them and to cause them to suffer with her and to share her doom. You see, her plan today is to take the followers into this fall of America. She wished to take you all there, brothers and sisters. Now we see Jeremiah 50, verse 6. My people have been lost sheep. The shepherd has caused them to go astray. We see this right and black preachers of Christianity have turned them away on a mountain. They are gone from a mountain still. They have forgotten their resting place, their native people and country. See Jeremiah 57. We see all that found them have devoured them. And the adversary says, we offend not, because they have sinned against the Lord, their habitation of justice, even the Lord, the hope of their fathers. Since the white man had made the so-called Negro as wicked, a person as himself, now these are the words that he speaks. They are just as evil as we. So therefore Allah dies against them too. The so-called Negro repeat the same and says the white man is no worse than the so-called Negro. The white man have opened all of his doors of avenue of temptation to lure the Negro in for total destruction. Again, we have a warning to lead a people with whom God is angry, as the people of ancient Babylon was warned to do. See Jeremiah 51:45. My people go out of the midst of her and deliver every man his soul for the fierce anger of the Lord. And all of the plagues, destruction we see in judgment, which Allah, God, used to destroy the wicked and disobedient from the time of Adam until this day will be propped upon America. Then she will be burned with fire. This is the time of trouble that shall bring America into insanity. We see the dreadful times of America. America, especially North America, have entered into a time that was predicted by Moses and a prophet between him and Jesus. In the 24th chapter of Matthew, there was a prophecy made by Jesus of the present time of America without mentioning her name. It refers to the country as a world because this part of the earth is referred to in many places by the prophet and by Jesus himself as a wilderness. Name America is not yet 500 years old. So the prophet refers to it as a wilderness in their prophecy. It is terrific. I use the word terrible because it's not a thing that can be described as something mild. It's something that's moving slowly, nor something that can be recognized so easily by the common people. It is clear to all who can see that America have reached the stage about which he always have been warned. He always wanted to keep it a secret because of her so-called Negro slave. She never desired for the slave to know too much of what was in store for her because of enslaving and mistreating her slave. She had reared them for the past 400 years, and she knows them and she knows how they think and how they react to her teachings. And she knows the fear of her. And she knows the slave, but the slave do not know America, the slave masters. The great and dreadful and awful day's doom is now in the doors and windows of America and of the church, the religion of America. As long as Christianity works, America thought she was safe because it is one of the most deceiving, misleading religions of the world. Allah God taught me, if carefully examine everything, the religion of Christianity is designed to make slaves out of black people today. If Christianity was a red rag and wrung out, you see every drop of right slavery for the black man. See, the world knows this now, but the spiritually blind, deaf, dumb American so-called Negro, to whom I'm calling and appealing to reason. I'm calling them to reason with me on the truth and their own starvation that is now in truth of self and kind, or the enemy of self. There will not be an end to the car cash between black and white America and throughout the world until this wrong, evil, murdering, deceiving, and robbing the poor black man of the earth is destroyed, and righteousness and justice are practiced. This is the day of God Almighty to set up justice and equality throughout the earth. He is to free the black man, the American so-called Negro, from his deceitful, evil, and murderous enemies. America wished to oppose Allah God in his work of bringing justice and freedom to her one slave. But this is just what Allah God wants. Allah wants America to attack him, to get the fight started, to bring his judgment against her with the fullness of his strength and powers. You see, America is bringing about the political gloom. Here we see the politicians are unable to carve out a future for America. We see the plan today of deceiving the so-called Negro politicians to work against their own freedom, justice, and equality, starvation that Allah God has brought to them. Is making the so-called Negro in high office become an enemy of his own people, freedom, justice, and equality. Such office are held out as a bribe to get black politicians to work against the spread of the truth of their starvation. See, they are happy and their boss knows that they are. They have a place near him in such office just for the purpose of trying to oppose Allah and his messengers and freeing the poor black man who is in the mud. See, this is causing the political confusion and complete destruction of a house divided against itself. I'm asking in the name of Allah that the American governments agree on the separation of her one slave and their master. Of course, Allah God is significant. We want a home on this earth we can call home. We do not want to be slave anymore brothers and sisters, to white people. We do not want to be free Uncle Toms for white people. We want to do something for self and go for self. See, however, America with a blind, deaf, dumb politician class of the so-called nickel will bring a swift destruction upon their heads, along with the doom that is coming against the enemy. See, my brothers and sisters, it is not 20 years in the future, nor 15 years. Let no one deceive you. It is here at our doors now. The dreadful pledges and confusion of America are beginning to boil. The few making it boil will not freeze until it boils down to the last of the dregs. The present promise of a better future that America is making to the so-called nickel will prove to be false. And all of the false promises to the American so-called nickel will be short-lived by both, because the time of her doom has approached. Are you hearing me? They don't care how many people die here. It's like Pharaoh, man. Pharaoh refused to let the people go to now when he seen that God was working through Moses and Aaron. When he took his mighty outstretched arm to divide that Red Sea for them to walk on the dry surface. And when Pharaoh and his host tried, they got overwhelmed. So would it be with America. These pledges will come one after another. As you think she's going to get over the sore, you see, made by a previous disaster, another disaster will come. And another one will come to strike. So we see America today will have to do a marvelous thing of justice, a square deal to turn it back. You know, a fascinating show attempting the Negro to feel an evil will not work today. It takes justice to work, to postpone the dreadful days of America. America lost a war. Friendship is speeding her doom. I'm afraid for you that you receive with the people before you did receive. See, a lot of God is very angry with white America. And the trichology that she used on the dead to keep them dead today. See, you are very disappointed to Allah God. And to the original black man who knows himself, yes, a very few, of course. The false show of a glorious future we see that the wicked is putting on is at hand. We must remember Daniel's prophecy that at the end of the war, desolation are determined. Before this happened, Allah God will bless the people for a good time, as he did the people of the past who wronged it themselves, who did not pay attention to the prophet one amongst them. Allah God destroyed them. They thought that they were fooling Allah God, but Allah God surprised them. He made the people rejoice for a short time with a show of great prosperity. And at the height of a great prosperity, suddenly he destroys them. This is the merciful law that Allah has put in nature. Allah God let a dying person rally before the end. You see, white America is going to do the same. You see, white America will rally, and people will think that she is going to have a great future. And then the end will come in that kind of time. America end when that comes while she is going around with her head hanging down, her heart itching and failing because of the things that we see that is coming on her nation. No, she will be made to enjoy good times. See, the stock markets are going up and lots of shares being sold. You see, this make any man thinks that everything's all right, but this is only the delude before the storm. And the Bible warns America of what happened before her. Ancient Babylon enjoyed a full ruling position of her time. King Darius came against her at her time of her full enjoyment of wealth, drunkenness, and her laughter and after slave that she had made to Israel. King Darius came with his army and overcame the sleeping guards who were sleeping on the security of their lives. The Bible prophesies that the enemy would say, "Come, let us go up and destroy her whose cities is not fenced in." And they may come from afar. They may come at noonday, or they may come at the rising in the morning or in the afternoon. But nevertheless, they will come at a time that you thought not. At the war and at the end of the war, desolation are determined it, and that determined shall be poured upon the desolate. You see, the Bible, Daniel 9 and 26 and 27, I want you to know, brothers and sisters, that which will be poured means it is you, America. If you ever getting back into power again to attack the nations of the earth, we see Europe will become one of the worst wars areas of all the worlds, more dreadful than Vietnam and other places that you are planning on going into. Asia will look like child play when compared to what is going to happen in Europe. The prophet says, "Whom to the land that shallow it rings." This means America, whose skies is filled with plains. See, Isaiah 18 verse 1, "Whom to the land that shallow it rings." We see most of all of the judgment and trouble which are pointed at in the Bible are pointed at America. Study them for yourself. America right up to today, and with all of her battles and with her outside enemy, never loses sight of her inside of her poor old black slave. Does not want him to do anything. She wants him to be deceived. She does not want him to accept the starvation that God is offering this black one slave here in America. Allah God's offering the black one slave heaven at once. This he has proven to everyone to believe in Allah God and follow me. I am the door. By no means can you get by except you come by me. Prayers will not be heard unless my name is mentioned in them. I'm saying that you cannot get a prayer through Allah God unless you mention me in your prayers. Try it and see it. I'm satisfied that those who know this will bear me witness. I have the keys to your salvation. I have the keys to your hell. I can if you just let me pull you out of hell and set you into heaven. Then I can keep you in heaven, or I can keep pushing and push you into the punishment of hell till you acknowledge that there is no God, Allah, who came in the person of Master Fly Muhammad, who praise or do forever, and that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is his servant. There is no escape for you today. Only way is through me, is through Allah God. You see, it's me first. You cannot get to Allah God without getting to me first. The lube before the storm. America is trying with all of her might to hinder you from getting into heaven. Now we see today America will make promises to you, and she'll make promises to me, but she does not tend to fulfill them. We see some American financial people to promise to loan us millions of dollars, but when it come time to do so, we see they vanish. But the day will come when we will be able to do the same things to them. And it's entirely up to them, brothers and sisters, to make good of this day for themselves and for their people by submitting to the truth themselves, as the Bible says. The Gentiles shall come to your light of your rising. See, America wants to destroy God and me, and she wants to destroy you by deceiving you against following me. See, white America lift up all of my hypocrites and advise you to follow them, while she knows that you will be the losers. Look what she had done for Malcolm. America will name universities after him in order for you to follow Malcolm. See, Malcolm turned from Allah, God, and me, started to follow them. America will lift up any one of you that will disobey Allah, God, and myself and come to them. See how they are doing. Everyone that's a hypocrite to Allah, God, and me, America raise him up for you to follow. America will glorify his name. See, Malcolm was no lover of white people. He only lies to them in order to get a chance to fight me. But he was not a lover of them. We see Malcolm was a double crosser. He tried to get to me with the help, as it is written and prophesied that he would do. His name is not written there in the name of, in history, another name is used. But his work is there in the history of the hypocrites and the life of Muhammad. He tried to take advantage while Muhammad was sick. You find this in the writing of Washington Irving, even some scientist writers of Islam can tell you Malcolm history. But enemy fools you. He did not like Malcolm. But with Malcolm working against me, he used Malcolm. He knew that Malcolm had learned the history of me, and he was not able to change it. And even if the enemy will glorify them, they will come to nothing. For the time as a ruling power over black people is up. They knew that better than Malcolm did. They set up for worship all hypocrites against me. Now suppose we will worship China and Russia against them. But we do not worship them. For Allah, God is most significant, more significant than all of their nations. Allah, God does not see them as a power and force against him. They are so little and weak in their powers. They cannot fight against Allah, God, and win. The more you fight against Allah, God, the more you lose yourself. From the Bible, from this chapter, from now on, if you do not know that he is tricking you by making you to follow hypocrites, it is your doom. Just watch it. He trusts me. He goes down to the Bahamas and everywhere that he thinks that I'm going or where I have been. See, this is written of him. See, I do not fault him for doing what is written of him. I try to do that which is written of me. I do not fault him for what he is made by nature to do. Nor should he fault me for what by nature I am. But I fault you. Let this little transcession of this life and our enemy be private of a great future for yourself. We can buy hospitals and place to educate and train our people into the superior education of the nations of the earth. But you'd rather give your money over to white Americans and let them spend it on what they want to. And they pay you a little interest. We offer interest too, the highest of interest. But you do not trust us. So we will build right along without your help. We are going to be the winners. It is prophesied that that we who believe will be the winners. My work that was prophesied of me before I was born, you see it today. Try and find a successful one who is working in opposition to me. See, none of you who are trying to aid the devil against me will be successful in doing so. And the devil knows that. He's not trying to do these things himself, only with you. He knows that he will not be successful in stopping my progress. Not him, nor several times his number. As long as I'm with Allah God, He is with me, and that will be all the days of my life. You see this fire fed with fuel. You see these volcanoes erupting. Fire is fed with fuel. Now, the subject of this chapter is taken from the Holy Quran, Surah 85, verse 5. We do not hope for peace as long as we add to the war that which serve as a fuel to a fire. See, the fire cannot go out as long as we keep it burning by adding more fuel. See, a dying, burning fire is increased it when more fuel is thrown into it. There are lots of people who are so anxious for peace so that they can return to committing that which they love, idling, sport, and play. The world that we live and desire first of all to hide the truth, to keep this black man who is made blind, deaf, and dumb by scientific trigonometry of the right race, so that the right race can continue to carry on the same deceiving and wickedness that they have been practicing. How can we expect peace where the method used to bring about peace is the same method that started the war? Instead of finding the right solution, then practicing the right solution. I said these things for the sake of my own black people, who are so ignorant to the knowledge of the truth, of the time in which we are living. What they would like to do cannot be done. And time to even continue to do what you are doing is up. We must remember again the prediction of the Bible. It has foretold these times. If we understand the Bible, it must certainly teach us that there is no peace today for the wicked. And there is no people who preach such a thing as peace and as being true followers of the prophet Jesus as much as the right Christians do. See, day and night, their airways are full of their preaching. To hear them, you would think that they are the prophet Moses and Aaron, as the word Jesus put it. They sat in Moses' seat. The white Christians are great deceivers. The Pope of Rome cannot bring peace to the Christian church, for he is not enjoying peace himself. So who is that people then that the Bible prophesies of in the book of Isaiah? That he will extend peace to them like rivers? Surely can that be the present Christian right race, for they are the ones who are breaking the peace today, as you see. Fire fed with food. See, leaving your own homes and country, you go to another man's home and country to make trouble for that people. And then accuse that people of being a troublemaker. See, it is the attacker who is guilty of that which falls the attack. I said to you, my black people, you can get away from that old misunderstanding of time. You are not living in a time in which you may be inspecting a settlement of a war that will give you what you always have been used to. You see, sport, play, and foolishness. Actually, now is the time, brothers and sisters, that you and I should be wise enough to understand that we should think for self and do for self. Now, if you do not know how to do for self, you should follow the man to whom Allah God has given that knowledge to teach you how to do for self. With the ocean filled, with the fleet of the right Christians, and the sky crowded with their death dealing planes over other people's territories, could you tell them that they should submit to you for peace? If you are able to force them to their knees or to destroy them, then I say yes. If that was the situation, then I would say that they should submit and let you trumpet. But you cannot force them to their knees, brothers and sisters. They have been preparing today for a war like this for nearly a century, or rather, I should say, they have been preparing and working faithfully for half a century to entertain the attackers with the same type of weapons and better weapons than the weapons you are attacking them with. If you resort to worse weapons, they have worse weapons also. So we are in a time when argument to the country of peace is like heaping fire on a field. It keeps it burning. We are living in an evil time. So we are in a time, brothers, when we see argument to the country of peace, it's like heaping fuel on this fire. It keeps it burning. We are living in these evil times. And I believe in many hundreds of thousands believe as I do that we see that the president of the United States of America has good intentions towards the citizens of America when he took over the presidency, but the times against him for the past 4,000 years and more. Allah God has always given the prophecy through the mouth of his prophets of the doom of the wicked. Now we see it's the time. Cannot do anything but take it. It is dangerous to add fuel to unwanted fire. The fire, my brothers, is a war. Now, how true the prophet Jesus says in Luke 21, 25 and 26 concerning this present time. We bear witness that the seas and oceans are whirling, and that fear is now covering the nation as shown by unusual heart failures that is now occurring amongst men. Now we see the sea levels is rising, and that's through those glaciers. There have been a flooding event throughout the states. Now, how true the prophet Jesus says that the seas and oceans will rise into in perplexity that man will never see before. These are the signs of the end of the present world. The seas and ocean are heaving up tidal waves to unimaginable heights that man has never witnessed before on earth. This is another pledge that's upon the wicked, since the Holy Quran teaches that the judgment will be such that the earth itself will act as though a revelation had been veiled to it because of its perfect obedience to the laws of Allah on that day. Allah will use the power that is in the earth and the sea against the world of evil. The right race thinks that they have control today of the power of the earth, sea, and air. It was prophesied that for a time they will subdue and have the use of the power of the sea, ocean, until he comes who right it is to rule. Now Pharaoh was given power and dominion. See, America was given power and dominion. And they think that they can continue to use this power today. But today they've been outstretched. They've been stripped for their powers. So until he comes, who right it is to rule. And see, the heaven and earth belongs with God. Now we see it is his time to rule. There's much prophecy concerning the terribleness of the judgment of this wicked world. The power that's in the water is in the hands of Allah God to use against whom he pleases. The earth, wind, rain, fire, snow, ice, earthquakes are controlled by Allah, God. It is a fearful sight to see the displays of his powers, with the force of nature bowing and submitting to his will. I shall warn you that this is now coming into action against this Western world. There will be the destruction of whole fleets at seas, those which are capable of lying on the ocean sea bottom will be destroyed. We see the die set for foolish people who, like in the time of Noah, could not see the sign of the rain bringing on the flood. Even after the cloud began to darken the skies, they did not see the oncoming rain until it actually started to rain. So, my brothers and sisters, so it will be with white America. Today, they pay no attention to the signs of the judge that is now taking place. As the Bible we see prophesied it, Revelation 16:9. You see, they blaspheme the name of God, which has power over these pledges. See, they don't believe in God. They don't think that there's no God who has power of the land, sea, and air, and ocean. Many of them will blaspheme the name of God. Now, how many in America in the city of Chicago disbelieve and even mock and swear at the name of Allah, who has power over the force of nature on land, sea, and air? See, Allah God is now doing as it is prophesied as we see. The Holy Quran, Surah 13:41. It says, we have visited the land and curtain it of its size. Now, the foolish still are foolish until he is cast to that narrow place, cannot turn to the right or left, as it was in the story with the donkey that Balaam was riding. He came to a narrow place between two walls. You cannot turn around. You have to stop face to face with the angel or be destroyed. See the Bible, Numbers 22, 23, and 26. Let it be remembered that Allah God came forth for the redemption to deliver the American black people from their tormentors. See, whether we like it or not, he will do this. This is the work of Allah God, which is in effect. Let America use the history of the fall, a destruction of ancient Egypt and her Pharaoh. Let the history serve as a warning. They were brought to nothing for the evil done to a people whom Allah God has chosen. For example, of these last days, the law found black slaves and their slave masters. The Holy Quran, we see Surah 30:41 is perfectly true in its prediction of a present day nation, sea and land, power. We see corruption has appeared in the land and the sea on account of that which man's hands have made. The most grave mistake that the black man is making today is trying to hold on to the brief of eternities, or that he lived and preached the saving of this white man's world. This is false. Jesus did not preach this. See, the Bible, Jesus had a few disciples. Jesus also cursed the Jews, not to mention that he was trying to save them, or the Caucasian people. They are teaching a trichology that the white man used to deceive the black man. They do this so that our people will not understand that Jesus declared himself against the world or the Caucasian race. The Bible, he also declared that the words of truth had no place in these right race of people. They have proved this to be the truth by their mistreatment of you and me. The white race have never worshipped any prophet before or after Jesus as divine man of Allah God. See, it's against their very nature to do this. See, that is why they kill all other prophets that they are able to kill. They deceive the people against believing in the prophets of Allah God, for they was made in their nature to be the enemies of God and his representatives. Before this time is out, they will be forced into submission to the will of Allah God. This will not be done for the purpose of converting the right race. Allah God will force them into submission to prove that he is able to make everything bow to him in submission.